Not that sort of message. He is too old for mutilation. He shall expire before his purpose is done. If I hear he is armed by you, it will be your tongue and eyes that I take. The incubus nods. Take him to the castle gates and tell those therein that this old man carries a message from Galmagus, Lord of Cree, to Maiden Abyss. What? Tell him to take him to the castle gates and tell them therein that this old man carries a message from Galmagus, Lord of Cree, to Maiden Abyss, Alethia's whore. Shadows fall together nearby, and suddenly Zelva appears. They will be suspicious, you say with an exaggerated bratty frown. The Abyss has no reputation for diplomacy. Let them be suspicious, you say. They will test him, pray to their goddess to weigh the truth of his words, prostrate themselves, and so on. Zelva smirks. You, Zelva, and the Incubus work out the logistics of the delivery of the old man, and when this is done, the Incubus grabs hold of Winston by the shoulder and launches up into the air. What message could you possibly want to bother sending those Alethea hole lickers? Alethea hole lickers, says Zelva as she watches the Incubus go. A deception within a deception to draw them out of their walls, of course, you say. My Lich, who is far more intelligent than any of you, expects this deception will take full advantage and shall triumph over the hole lickers. Zelva smiles. I was a fool to doubt you, my lord. We'll punish you for that later, you say. She bows her head and licks her lips. I look forward to it. She transforms into shadow, then collapses, then disappear. Yeah, it's probably not a good idea to drop the fucking illusion if you can continuously fucking appear around her. She would immediately know that we transform back. But that's some sexual shit going on back at the fucking Galmagus castle, that's for sure. Who is Zelva's father exactly? I forgot about that. The collapse and disappear. You continue to march, keeping within the head of the rabble and within sight of Zelva, who quickly reappears at the very front. As the demons stray too close to you, stab them with your pike, not trying to kill, but without concern for causing injury either. Back away, you stink, you shout. Stench of the demons is not your only reason for wanting personal stays, it's also your fear of assassination. You know nothing of the politics of the Abyss, and you don't want your first lesson learned by a blade stuck back deep in your back. Indeed, you recall Egra saying something about assassination being a compliment in the Abyss. As you move on, you realize that the multi-mouthed demon who questioned you earlier had been right when he complained of no fresh meat in this direction. Nothing is alive in this part of the city, although at some point there obviously had been. Now the streets are now littered with corpses. Zelva, you shout at the succubus flying ahead. Who is responsible for this slaughter? Zelva turns and shrugs. I know only that the handiwork is not of the Abyss, for there is no art to it. If by art she means that they haven't been mutilated, then she would be correct. Unlike the bodies you saw earlier, when you first emerged in the surface, these seem to have been dispatched with maximum efficiency. A slit throat here, stab to the heart there, sometimes even no visible trauma at all. Most are of men, a good portion of them soldiers, although there are also plenty of women, both old and young. The children, who is exactly killing them with this much efficiency? Fucking Assassin's Guild is here? Or fucking our little vampire lady has been jumping around the place, but why would she even bother doing all this? And also she has wards on her, so prevents her from getting down to street level. There are also plenty of women, both young and old. There are also children too. You try not to look at those. All wear fine clothing, which is unsurprising in the inner ring. Some of the dead have weapons lying nearby and likely died fighting. Most appear to have been murdered as they fled. There appears to be no corpses of the enemy, that is, unless these people slew each other at this point. Nothing would surprise you. Your eyes are drawn away from the streets by something huge in the distance, illuminated by flames. There's a dragon strafing the city with fire. Neville's tongue. I would not have known that there are so many dragons close by. So close by, you say. They're swift upon the air, and some are spellcasters who can teleport, says Egra. Obviously, they know where history is being made, enough to draw them out of their lairs. I, for one, am pleased they have joined the battle. What is the battle without a dragon? Is this one on our side, I wonder? You look over at Zelva, considering asking her about the dragon. However, she is currently nodding at the nearby Incubus, who is speaking to her. The Incubus shakes his fist in rage. Zelva nods again and flies directly towards you, stopping short to cover a respectable distance. You're being followed by Forkers. She says, her voice venomous. Forkers is what demons call devils, says Egra. Kill them, you said to Zelva with a shrug. They're only scouts and they flee when they're spotted, says Zelva with a pout. You know what cowards they are. Nevertheless, you can be certain that they are watching for an opportunity to strike. Does she expect me to do something about this, you wonder? She seems to be waiting expectantly. You suppose you could try to act like you're leading them. The only devil you know is Varys. Maybe you could get a message to the devils to distract them from attacking. Or you could keep it simple but yet vague and said you'll handle it. Granted, such inaction from their leader might lead to the destruction of your army. It would not be so bad for Ring City, although it would be nice if you were not among their numbers when it happens. Yeah, send a message to Varys. Sounds dope. Send a message to Varys. Mola increases 1, flavor increases 1. Send a message to Varys. You say, though those scouts, if you can get within shouting distance of them. Zelva shakes her head. Who is Demoras Canal is Varys? Who in Demoras Canal is Varys? An importer forker who's wandering about here somewhere. You say, another message to our enemies. This night finds you rather diplomatic, my lord, she says. You're quite certain, by the way she said the word, that diplomatic is not a compliment in the abyss. If I didn't already know that a worm such as yourself would never dare to mock me, I'd have those oversized horns of your cut from your head, you say. Of course, I'm not so stupid as to mock you, my lord, only surprised, says with a tight smile. What is your message to this Varys? Relate to him that I know about the Lich and that I want to make a deal, you say. I see, she says taking a deep breath. To be clear, you want to make a deal with a forker. From her expression, you can tell she's losing faith in you. You're pretty sure demons don't have much faith to begin with. Of course not, you hiss. But he will not attack as long as he thinks there is a deal to be made with me, the new lord of Kriuzaz. She smiles. A forker cannot resist the prospect of a deal, and as they salivate and dither, we can find a means of destroying them, you say. Zelva claps her small hands. It is well that you are our lord, O mighty gal. Before you can answer her praise with something suitably arrogant, hyper-masculine, she has already turned and flown off, presumably to carry out your order. Meanwhile, the march continues. Have them take a right up there, says Egra. You shout out the order. Zelva scowls at you but relays your command. She's always scowling, for fuck's sake, it's fucking annoying at this point. The cracking of whips and shrill threats from the overseers, the main mass of the horde follows the new direction, while a few continue to go straight, either defiant to their orders or simply ignorant. A succubus and a larger winged demon pursue those renegades with long, cruel whips. As you hear the corner up ahead, you hear Zelva laughing and a chorus of cheers and jeers from the demons at the head of the horde. You charge around the corner and push your way to the front to see what they're so excited about. Far down on the moonlit street, atop a pile of corpses, stands a tall man in... Okay, is this Galmagus? Tall man in heavy crimson plate armor. As your keen eyes can see, the armor is actually golden color. However, it is covered so much gore that you cannot tell at first glance. His breastplate is fashioned like that of a muscular, naked chest. He clutches a long sword in one hand and a war hammer in the other. Both weapons are raised high and dripping blood. He wears a helm fashioned like that of a man or even a boy's head with golden curly locks. The helm has eye holes and extends over the upper part of his face, yet his mouth and chin are exposed, allowing you to see his smile. His throat is protected by a male coif of gold. Ah, there is a godling I see. There's a godling here? So, alright, Battle of Godlings. I did not even think of that Oher does not want to fucking kill Galmagus. He wants to kill this fucking super booted up fucking, what is that? This guy, fucking hell. Holy shit, what type of fucking... Isn't this like... So it says a tall man, like how tall are we talking? Like, is it like super huge, like Galmagus size huge, or like just big? Like a 6'4" or something. Very intriguing, but he is decked the fuck out, so this is gonna be a difficult fight, I feel like. There is a godling I seek, says Egra. Which godling? Yes, says Egra. You don't know the pantheon of gods very well. Nevertheless, a few ideas come to mind for who the father of godling could be. Charon, god of death. Virtues, god of war. Torilax, god of defilement and torture. There's a god for that? The twin gods of nature. I think I'm gonna go with god of war because the old man said so. Who increases 3? Well, with the armor hand in each and a weapon in each hand and the wanton slaughter, I guess he's the son of a war god. Probably the son of Virtuous. Excellent, my clever champion, says Egra. One fighter, says Zelva, tilting her head as she hovers nearby. I find his confidence disturbing. Does this pathetic mob challenge me? Shouts the man atop the bodies. His weapon being pointed at your horde. My name is Medrout, the Legion, and I shall lay you all to waste. Some demons laugh mockingly at Mirut, while others scream in delight now that they have finally something to kill. What do you say to Zelva? That is the son of Virtuous. Zelva is smart and she is the real commander of this horde. Also, for the moment, she's on your side. Best she knows what she is dealing with, you think. Disturbing indeed, you shout to Zelva, to be heard over the din around you. That is the son of Virtuous. Zelva turns to you, raising your eyebrow. Are you certain? Yes, you say. Alone he may be, but he is confident for a reason. The type 4 Bane demon in the sewer was confident too, and yet look what happened to him, says Egra. He clearly wants this conflict, and you'd have to be deaf and blind to not know that the demons will attack one way or other. Zelva nods as she stares at Mirot. He will use superior tactics then. What does that even mean? What are your orders, my lord? As the supreme commander of this horde, it is time to give an order. A Lord Wellington army, you took orders, but you never gave them. Not that it will matter anyway, since you doubt this mob, as the war godling called them, is capable of any sophisticated military maneuver. I feel like he's gonna do an AoE. I think I'm gonna go for range attack first. Let's see that. Hit them with a range attack, you say. That should wipe the smile off his face. We haven't many of those, but we shall see, says Zelva. Archers, flyers, strike from a distance, strike hard, she shouts as she flaps up into the air. A chorus of displeased snarls rises up from the ranks, even as arrows are set to string. Other demons, mostly succubi and incubus, fly forward. Zelva hands glow red just before she shouts incinerate. At her command, a thick crackling ray of darkness shoots forth from her hand straight at Medroth. Boosh. The godling and wait. How is the okay? So is it that only Aletheia and Oher's godling? I mean, fucking Egra. Are these two only the godlings that like took over the bodies? Like you know, are working with humans? The other godlings are just like born directly with their godly bullshit. I guess that could be the case. Let's see. The godling at the pile he had been standing on disappears in a plume of billowing black smoke, followed by a loud hiss. Even before the smoke has time to disappear, arrows of all sizes rain down on the spot. Soon after, the flyers strike, lashing the area with lightning, at least one explosion of a fireball. This bombardment continues for a few long seconds as 100 or so foot soldiers demons surge forward on their own initiative, screaming their displeasure at such an uneventful, merciful kill. Buildings on both sides near the heart of the attack crumble and the tinders burst into flames. That was easy, you say to no one in particular. The blast of a horn raised above the din. Feel the hair on your arms stand on end. Strong magic, you think. Somehow you're sure of it. An arrow whips out of the billowing smoke. It catches a hovering succubus in the throat. The demon spirals down and hits the cobblestone head first. Uh-oh, you say. Medroth is obviously not dead. Hold, you shout. You literally said uh-oh out loud. But there's no point in trying to break off the charge. The first of the demons disappear into the smoke and immediately hear the sounds of blood-curdling screams and snarls. The severed head of an Orthrax demon rolls out of the smoke, comes to a halt, staring glassy-eyed at the wind sky. Clear the smoke. Wind. Someone use the wind spell. Flap your wings. Anything, you shout. Egra laughs. Or break massive wind. What the hell does that mean? Out of the smoke comes a platoon of golden armored men moving in close ranks. Shield spears are wielding by those in front, while bowmen and pikemen are at the back. Apart from the weapons they carry, they're all identical to Merut. As they stood upon the pile earlier, most of their armor. Where did they come from exactly? Was the corpses like... The corpses that he's standing on were actually his men, that they were acting like they were dead. So what the hell, did they like wear their armor as soon as the smoke fucking started up? What the hell happened? I mean, I expected an AoE, but I didn't expect that bullshit. Most of the armor is spotless, with only some of the vanguard of the charge spurted with blood. This unit fights like one. A demon that get close to the onrushing walls are impaled by the flyers or brought down by the bowmen. What insanity is this, you say? A point to the answer to your question presents itself as a soldier in the black bursts for a moment and then splits into two. Others do the same, multiplying their numbers. What a trick that is, says Egra. He happily. He truly is Legion, not the son of Virtuous, but the son of Virtuous. Or sons of Virtuous. They fight like one because they are one, you think. We do battle with God of War madness. Fortunately, the demon seems downright pleased by this development, perhaps because they expected to be a single boring morsel of a foe has suddenly turned into a real opportunity for unbridled butchery. Most of your host has not bothered to charge the lone soldier by now, but now they all charge, surging down the street like a swelling river. Their shrieks of delight deafening. They're fucking enjoying this. The main demonic horde collides with the godling host in a terrifying crash of steel, gnarls, and roars. Wonderful, cries Egra. Despite Medroth's perfect coordination, the skill of his many selves, these selves are not vulnerable. Some of these golden-plated Medroths fall under the massive demon cuddles and cruel blaze, are ripped apart by long fangs and claws. However, these sons of virtues are very hardy, able to take an inhuman amount of damage before they finally fall. For every one of their deaths, they forfeit the lives of several wrathful demons, impaling them with spears and pikes or hewing them down with their broadswords and battle axes. Agra begins chanting in your mind. The words are alien to you, yet annoying, like a grinding sound. Not this again, you shout at her. Remember the last time she did this in the grounds of the Duke's castle? She had incited the Thog minions and demons to attack. There is no need to provoke anyone. Battle is already underway. Suddenly, a unit of Midroths, perhaps 2 dozen, burst through the demons' line, their eyes all set on you. Are you inciting them? You say, stop.